From the Rifts!
Hey, welcome back to From the Rifts. I'm Big Will Johnson. This is Carmen Belair. And today we're going to be talking about
Rifts Dimension Book 13. This is the Fleets of the Three Galaxies. It's basically a big spaceship book.
This is a space opera.
Yeah.
And this will give you the various cast and players in that space opera.
Yeah, up till now, I mean, we have spaceship creation rules in the other books, and we have a handful of spaceships, but not really a systematic kind of walkthrough of the different fleets.
Right.
This one's nice because it does give us that. The book, it starts out with the Three Galaxies timeline. It's an entire set of three galaxies. So obviously, it's a kind of point, this happens, this happens, this happens.
Yes.
But it's a nice quick overview of what happens in the three galaxies and gives us an idea of, a backdrop history for what these adventures are taking place during.
It sets the stage.
Yeah, that's exactly. After that, we have a set of spaceship creation rules. Now, these are pretty straightforward. The best part is that they do have from how to make a big battleship all the way down to make like a pirate class vehicle. Something that the players are going to want to use.
I guess now we've gotten into that, we should really get into the meat and potatoes of this particular book, which is the
various
actual
fleets.
fleets.
Yeah.
Up first, we got the Altes Dynasty. These guys are essentially a eugenics program gone awry. Their entire race has kind of stretched itself so thin that now there's only a few members. So imagine if at one point you had billions of people in an empire or a dynasty, and then
They got a few million.
you have a few million now. And those few million now own the real estate and the
wealth.
items of the billions that were around previously. So that kind of sets up the form and dilemma for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, they have a small fleet because they need it to protect all their goods. But because there are so few of them, and not only are there so few of them, they're so privileged that they don't really want to be part of some kind of standing army. But those who do take on the duty of defending their people, and with them, they have them, and then they have a whole system of bots that help control their ships. They're what controls their dynasty. The ships, just like the people, are better than average. Everything about them is better than average. They're best.
Essentially, they are the elitist of the Three Galaxies fleets.
Yeah. Okay, after that we have the Consortium of Civilized Worlds, CCW. These are basically the good guys.
This is your United Nations
Federation.
They try to keep the peace amongst everybody.
They are economically, though, aggressive.
Well,
is
it the United Nations sometimes?
Yeah, but they're the fleet that is first to try to exploit a resource or a new race. That they tend to get in there.
That's politically charged. So moving on.
But it's their fleet. We already have a lot of ships for their fleet because they were handled in two other of the Phase World source books. But this kind of helps round out the different stuff available.
Okay. Next, we have the Dominator Star Fortress.
Yeah. The Dominators really only have one entry, but it's a biggie.
Yeah. Should we get into more of the Dominators?
Yeah.
Or should we point them back to Thunder Galaxy?
Thundercloud Galaxy.
Thundercloud.
One of the other new books has a whole section of background for the Dominators. But anyway, the important part about the Star Fortress is imagine the Death Star on steroids, built for 30-foot tall beings. I mean, they're monstrosities. A single Dominator Star Fortress can crush most fleets, but they're statted out, and that's what's cool. After that, we have the Gorgon Republic Argosy. Now, this is a new fleet, and it's kind of a new up-and-coming race. They're kind of goofy looking, though. I kind of think of them like bug-eyed frogmen.
Frogmen.
But like big, huge, bubbly eyes. But anyway, their ships are pretty cool looking, but the guys look kind of goofy.
This is a space opera, so goofy can be cool.
Yeah, whatever. Next, we have the Naruni Enterprises.
Whatever.
Now, these are transdimensional traders, And to back them up, not only do they hop around through rifts and stuff, they also have an entire fleet, especially within the Three Galaxies, because the Three Galaxies are the core of their operations.
Right.
So they have an entire vast fleet to protect and
they do trade and sell between everybody.
Yeah.
They have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so that creates a little bit of intrigue as well.
the fleet is there kind of just to protect their interests. So imagine a corporate organization that moves between the different political entities, just keeping track of its own resources and its own contracts and stuff.
Microsoft.
Yeah. After that, we have the Splugorth Kingdoms. There's a variety of kingdoms within Three Galaxies controlled by the Splugorth, and they all have their own independent fleets. Now, they tend to be a mix of technology and magic, because the Splugorth have minions that kind of run the gambit.
And they have no problem having slaves.
Yeah, no, they have both subjugated races that are part of their empire, and then they have slave races, and they don't mind populating their ships with disposable troops. The Transgalactic Empire is the next one, and they're kind of the evil force amongst the races of the Three Galaxies.
It's almost like, if it's possible, an even more evil galactic empire.
Yeah. But they are aliens. They're controlled by an alien race. So for a change in a space opera setting, it's not humans that are the big bad guy. For a change, it's an alien. And but their ships are among some of the most powerful. They tend to prefer armor and powerful guns over the running or hiding. So they come in and smash the target and carry it away. And it's that same kind of, these ships in this one are that same kind of organic feel or look that some of the other spaceships have for the Transgalactic Empire.
The United Worlds of Warlocks.
Yeah.
Bit
World
of
of
a tongue
Warlocks.
tie there.
UWW, United Worlds of Warlock.
Sounds like a wrestling federation.
Now, these are, the United Worlds of Warlock, if you don't know, are kind of the race or the collection of magical beings. So it's things like star elves, anvil dwarves, warlocks, magic-using humans, other magic-using races. They've formed themselves into a small federation. Now, the thing is, with the United World of Warlocks, there's not a lot of them. So their fleet and their Warlock Navy is kind of one of the most elite, one of the most powerful.
And you better believe, with a bunch of dwarves, you can imagine the ships they're building.
Yeah. The idea of their fleet, though, is it's small and it's there to guard their territory, so they're not big on going out attacking others. It's basically to control their territory, and they have ways of jumping their fleet around their territory, so that even if you attack at one zone, they can amass their entire force over there. And their ships tend to be really good because they do draw on both magic and technology. Okay, so that rounds out the fleets themselves.
Yes. We can move on to the new equipment. Space equipment.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a selection of things you need, like survival suits and patching kits and all the stuff you think you would need for a space adventure, and basically those you would need in space as opposed to the equipment your characters would carry on to a world or whatever.
We can move into civilian ships.
Yeah, civilian ships. There's a nice selection. Everything from simple runabouts to kind of pirate class vessels. They're basically there for the players. I mean, you're not going to be. Although this thing has a lot of, the main starships for the different fleets. Remember, these aren't something the players are going to be running around in.
I guess it's important to kind of highlight the fact that a conscious decision needs to be made at the beginning of a game as to the level at which you're going to play. If you have players who believe that they can run up and just try and take over a military ship, well, I got to tell you, it's probably not going to happen unless each player commands thousands of troops.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're most likely going to be dealing with, for your day-to-day transport or whatnot, you're going to have a civilian-style ship. Or maybe if one of you is a high-ranking officer of some kind,
like a frigate or something.
Yeah, maybe something of that sort. But
yeah, something a little lower scale, but with capital class weapons or something. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the civilian ships, and after that we round out the book with space magic, because the Three Galaxies is a magical environment. There's a whole new selection of spells dealing with moving and traveling in space,
which is interesting considering the fact that most space campaigns do not have magic.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, that rounds it out, and that'll be it from the refs.
That's right. See you next time.
Bye.